Welcome to Trading Lounge and the daily US stocks for Monday, November the 21st. And this week on Wednesday, nothing much on Monday and Tuesday for news, but on Wednesday we have the jobless claims and PMI figures and consumer sentiment and home sales. And obviously Thursday is Thanksgiving Day as well. So that said, with the S&P here, I'm looking at it in two different ways. I want to just stay open to the possibilities and just try my best to follow the facts. We can look at, on the bearish side of the market, we can look at this as wave one down here with an A wave, a B wave, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here for the C wave of 2, and then basically just continue down from that point. The other count is that we have a low in place, and yeah, we're counting to the upside. And what will happen on that case will be, we've got wave 1, 2, 3, 4 here, so we've also got 1 and 2 in here as well. So we're looking for wave 3, 4 and 5 in here, something like that anyway. Anyway, to take out that top there, between the top and the 100, that's what we're looking for. But it interests me more over this side over here, because all we need is the first leg down, and then we need the second leg to retest the 4,000, and it may be on the 4,000 or above it or whatever the case may be. But once we've got that first retest there, once it drops below the level, or it may just come down and touch the level and then come back up there, but either way, we normally start with the top and then we can drop it down to the second high here. It's at that point we can go long. That's what we'll do for the long side. Now, if the market pulls down, let's say the market pulls down, let's just assume for a moment that all this up here is wave one, and the market pulls all the way down here, and you think that, well, we must be bearish at that point. Well, we still need to consider all of this wave one here as well, and I'll just show you something in a minute for that. But even if the market does come down here and wave two is down here somewhere, then I'll try to figure out, over this side here, if we can get 1 or 2 positions in the market and then build on top of the 400. So that will be with the you could do that with the ETF. So with the ETF here, the SPY here, we can count this up from the low as 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave, fifth wave for the third, the ABC for the fourth, 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up here for the third, coming back for the fourth now, going up the fifth. So there is a bit of an overlap just on this one and this one. When I look at the, it's kind of interesting, when I look at the, let me just get this chart set up here for the day. So we want that code in there, and we want, I need to lift it up a little bit so I can get to the bottom. This is the weighted, just set that up and put that there. So this is the RSP, it's the S&P equal weight here. And in this case here, there's a couple of positive things that we can see here. Is we can see that we've got wave 1 and 2, and nice strong third wave, fourth wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is just, that one just does sit on the top of that one a little bit. But if it wasn't labeled like that, you could also label it 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, because you see how sharp these came back here? And we can also see the volume in here building as well. So there is that, there is that positive case that we could call all of this up for wave 1. Okay, so yeah, it's the same situation here. Of course, we can look at this as wave 1. We're looking for a push higher, and then looking for that, that A wave, B wave, and C wave coming in probably around the 380 area. So we're either going to come down from that point, or we'll be going up from that point. So that's what we have to work out. We are starting to see, when you get to tops like this, if we can talk about stocks for a moment, the stocks that drive the S&P here, they can still go further to the upside, but it is the Nasdaq stocks that are on the weaker side. So on some of the Nasdaq stocks, we can already count 5 waves down through here in those tech stocks. So we just need to be like, banks can go up, some of the tech stocks need to come down. So as we get into the top here, there's going to be leaders and there's going to be followers. So the leaders are already starting to lead to the downside, and we'll just need to be a little bit careful about that. So we'll talk about those along the way, but just to let you know that we are looking for a top, but at the same time we are seeing stocks that have 5 waves down here. So yeah, so with Apple here, we're just, maybe I've made this look a little bit too big up here, but I think anywhere above the top here and anywhere above the top, and probably this top over here would make a bit of sense too, wouldn't it? In that, so anywhere in this space here we can have a top. So 155 looks like a pretty good number. So we're looking for Monday to follow through and continue to push up. We do have a little impulse wave here. We could put this impulse wave here as well. I'll just I think that's what I did on, I think we could do that. We could probably put that here and then probably put this over here for this. If this top is taken out, well, then we can come back to this. But let me just have a look at the 100 ticks again to remind myself what I've done here. Yeah, right, okay, so it's a little bit difficult because of this particular spike here, but I mean, it does look like a nice third wave in here with 1 and 2 and little third, fourth in here and fifth here. So we could probably go to this, I'm just wondering if this is actually just 1 and 2 here for that. That's what's sort of going through my mind a little bit. Or the thing that we need to be mindful of, if I go to the outside of the whole box of concepts and ideas, then this is what we would be looking at here. It is possible for the market to pull back closer to the 148 as a wave 2. Would it do that? It looks like we've got a little 5-wave structure here. I think we should be all right actually, but it could do that. Do you know what I mean? So I'll just leave that there just so we understand that if you're long, you'll need to accommodate that situation at that point. Rightio, so over to Nvidia. So Nvidia is one now that I can count 5 waves down here. So this is likely to be a situation where we have another move down here and then have a move up and then a move down to here. So it's in this box that I have to work out if we're going to be going up or down at that point. Probably with the rest of the market will end up coming down for that. Let me just go have a look at the 100 ticks and just have a look at this in here, So yeah, I'm just starting to see that we're getting, it's not confirmed yet. I'd still need, so if I take this as 1 here and 2 here, that's pretty good, that's pretty simple, and that because it's from the top. And then the next leg here, if we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, that will give me a third wave. Now it's a bit spiky in here, but let's just assume that this is wave 4 here for a moment. And I could be wrong there, it could go to there, and we might need to look at that as 1 and 2, but looking at this here, I can still see that we probably need another move down here to finish this off a bit. But let's just see what we can do for this, because I think that it will turn bearish. It's just that we need this second low to go short on over here for this. I don't want to short it up here while the other markets are still topping, and just in case it's lagging. Yeah, so there's a bit of work to do on this, but like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, that I'm starting to see 5 waves coming down. So we've got stocks that are going to be rallying. So while this goes into wave 2 here, the banks and other the S&P and those sorts of things, some stocks may take new highs here, but some stocks like this, and Tesla was another one, we're starting to see that 5-wave move down here. So we just need to be a little bit a bit careful. And it's a bit the same as this one here as well with Amazon. So if we got if I got another low in here, it would take away the ABC pattern. So if for some whatever reasons we could rally a bit higher, but if we come down and make a new low below this current low here, then I have to look at all of this as 5 waves to the upside. We've been looking at this here with a low in place. It makes sense, and we can be bullish, and we could take out that top. So if we took out that top, we can be long at that point, right? But we're a long way from that at the moment, so we have to work with this. And if I give this enough time here just to see if we get 5 waves down here, yeah, and then we may need to be looking at the short side of the market over here on that B wave here is an A and a B and a C. So I'm playing both games here because I'm starting to see that 5-wave structure coming down. That's what sort of happened. Let's just go into the 100 ticks and have a closer look at that. So yeah, so from the top here we can look at 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 down here for wave 1 and 2, or an A and a B, that's fair enough too. And then 1 and 2 here, and then 1, 2, a little bit spiky in here, but we'll go with the 3rd wave, the 4th wave and the 5th wave. So it's a nice 5-wave structure. And then wave 4 pulling back up to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I could look at it as an A wave, a B wave and a C wave here, but the problem is that the time the S&P tops out, if I just bring the SPY back up here, that's quite close to its high, so that could make a new high. Do you know what I mean? Whereas some of these stocks like Amazon and Tesla and Nvidia and that, they've come a long way down. They've got a long way to get back up here to make a new high. I just don't think they can do that. So I think that they can rally in terms of looking for some type of 4th wave here, and then coming down for a 5th wave or something of this nature. And then it's over here that we need to start looking at the rally a little bit closer, and then start looking for short trades over this side of the market based on having 5 waves down here. So yeah, I think we have to basically look. We have to be open, I think, and we have to just allow the market to unfold further. I mean, this is the you might think, well, I could have shorted that here, Pete. Well, this would just be wave 1 coming down here. This would be wave 2. So we're going to catch the 3rd wave. So it may not occur, but at least we're open to it. We're looking at it. That's the main point. If this, for whatever reasons, moves up into this space here, well, then we can look at the bullish side again at that point. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, it didn't really, all it did was a bit of short covering on the Friday. It wasn't a positive Friday for this market or some of the other markets. So if the market's not bullish on the Friday, then it's telling me we've got a change in trend with the bullish weekly cycle. So yeah, we need to start considering that because we're looking for, we're looking for a top in the in the indices, but it comes in such a way that some of the stocks are going to be leading down first, and that's what I'm seeing at the moment. So we're starting to see this top in other markets, but these can still have that momentum to top out and then be pulled down at that point. So yeah, the same with Meta here as well. I can count a little 5-wave structure coming into play here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. I'm not seeing it as an ABC pattern. This is more like an ABC pattern. I think we've got the A wave, the B wave and the C wave up here for that. Excuse me. So tomorrow we'll have a look for try to look for a short trade in this, because we've got a little bit of time. You could short it up here in the box, but even if it comes down to here, if it does that in the next session, goes up here and then comes down the next session, that's going to leave some type of little ABC pattern over here as well that you can look to short here, and then once it becomes the resistance, also look to add to that. Now the problem with this is it may just come down as an ABC pattern down into the 61.8%, but it could also move further. So we'll just see how quickly this move comes down to see if it's a C wave or a wave 3 in that case. So a little bit of work to do on this, but once again, the main takeaway is that we're starting to see 5 waves down in these markets. And if we're going to be bullish in this market here, once we've got this B wave finished, the B wave may be finished already, but because the market's got a rally, I think it can come up here. But once that's into play here and we see the market down here, well, then this will create the long trades at this point. Rightio, Netflix. So yeah, I mean, if the other tech stocks are going to start moving down, we also need to be looking at this as a little 5-wave structure here. Now, everything said and done, we need to be a little bit tactical on things, of course, as well. So if a new high is made here now, well, then we can go long at that point. But otherwise, we'll see the market move lower. So let's just go into the 100 ticks here. So I don't have 5 waves down here just yet. Well, not nice and cleanly. I have this this 1 and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So I still need to see, that could be bullish and we could go up from that point, but otherwise wave 4 here and wave 5 to come down, and then have the ABC pattern. So just being a little bit mindful of this, and then down for 3, 4, 5. So a move down deeper than that. See, in terms of, if I took this as wave 2 low here and took this up to here, we're at the 38.2% retracement at the moment. So if it does move up, we'll take that. But even if it does move up here and gives us a 5th wave up here like the S&P, then would still turn over at that point. So even if it did come up through here, it would only come up to here and then give us that ABC pattern coming back as well. So we're not, either way, we're not there yet. So I'm just pointing this out here so you don't get sort of sucked into a long trade just yet with Netflix. So Enphase has sort of had, I mean, it's not the only stock out there, but in terms of being bullish, but it's one of the few. And look, it's kind of doing all the right things. And one of the interesting things that it did on Friday here, how we were thinking, well, wave 4 could be over here, and we could look at this as an A wave and then an A wave here, because we had 5 waves here, an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here that made a nice ABC, stayed under the top here. But then on Friday, it took out the top of this one. So then this one here can't be a B wave anymore, So that means that we can use that as wave 4, and we can look at this as wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and then building up here for 1 and 2 and cruising along. What we want next is we want, well, group 1 to be the support. This is 13, which is also a group 1 as well, but we want 30. So we want that number there to be the support. Once that becomes the tested support, 10, 20, 30, once you got tested support on 30, then you know that the market's leaving this large number, because this has always been about this number, hasn't it, really? I mean, obviously it came down here, but came back to it. but it's been about this number. That's the, you know, that's the major level, major trading level 3 at that point. So we want support on top of group 1, but everything seems to be going according to plan. So let's just go into the 100 ticks, and we're looking at, well, wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and then we've got then we're looking at counting up here as 5 waves up here for wave 1 and coming back for wave 2, and that counted quite nicely. This here hasn't counted very nicely, I must say, but I could probably, and just looking at that, I think I should actually put that there. It's a little bit weird, but if I look at this as wave 1 here, then 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third, all of that third wave, it could be the fourth wave, yes, it overlaps, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because see, what happens at big numbers, the market is always pulling on, you know, pulling the market back towards itself or to that number all the time. So, but anyway, I'll just leave it there. So the next step really is to, from this low to this high here, can I look at it like, what's the worst situation here? Okay, well, let me just consider this then. So we could get one more retest of the 300 here. If I just, you know, for whatever reasons at this point, if we looked at all of this as 5 waves up to here, for example, and then looked at this as an ABC back here and then pushing up. Now, that's probably not the case, but yeah, probably not the case, but yeah. And when we take this top out here, then we can move this a little bit closer into here. That this is this wave 2 is our saving grace at this particular point. So we don't want to put it anywhere above here because we'll just get stopped out and lose all the work that we've done at this point, you know. So yeah, we want that 330 as the tested support. Yes, I think we're doing all right here, actually. So I'll just take that away, but we're not going to move our stop. When the 330 becomes the support, then we're on our way at that point. So that means we'll see something like this here. It's going to be tough up the top here because the rest of the market will be looking to be bearish at this point. You know, this is like where this market needs to separate itself from the other markets, and we'll be looking for a trade at that point there as well. Taking that out, that will tell us that, you know, that will tell us the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the ABC pattern. This can dip down to 1.5 here. That's reasonably common, but it shouldn't find the number 2 as the resistance. If it plays up here above group 1 and then finds this number as the resistance, then it'll be pulled down to here. It's okay for it to spike down to here, normally down to the number 5, and then push up from that point, because these tops here, you know, now will give us that support that we're looking for on that particular number here. But now we want this number because we have to, you know, we have to stop the pull of this number, and getting tested support here will do that. So yeah, that's sort of where we are at the moment with this. So what we could do when this is, once we can see that the number 2 here has been retested here, well, then we can move this stop up here just to help protect this order. You may have another order from the box down here. Yeah, then we could move it up into here somewhere, and that would protect those, but we can't move it really past here at this point. So anyway, bit of patience, and let's see how we go. I'm just going to remove these. They'll just squash up at the end anyway. So what we're looking for next here is, even though I'm saying take out the top here, right, see if you can find a little classic trading levels pattern over here for this. So you could have done that in here as well. You had the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level. So you may have been able to put that sort of in here somewhere, tuck it in here, you know, but it doesn't matter too much at this point. But just just chatting. Alrighty, moving on to, so Tesla here. We've been looking for this ABC pattern, and I was thinking that it may come a little bit higher up into its 50-60%. So that's not the case. So we're not going to short this until we're ready. So that means that this move down through here, I'm counting this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave, and fifth wave down here. Then we've got the A, the B, and the C here. So we can short this here from the B wave over here, just to make sure that we got it right, and this is not some other low that I've mistaken somewhere along the way for something or other, So we have been talking about this being a low in here, but let me just go back to the daily chart here for a moment. I just want to check why I'm here. Oh, it wasn't the daily chart, was it 20 or 50k or something? What I'm trying to do here is just to see if I've messed up in some way. Do you know what I mean? I'm just wondering if this would be 1 here and 2 here, and then down for 3, 4, and 5, making this low here. So we're going to let that low come in, and then in a nutshell, we're going to short that low, but we're going to try and get a better position under here for that. I'll go back and check that now. So that's from the 240 high. From here, let me just, I was never happy with the third wave because I've got pulled in a bit short. Okay, so I'll need to go back over that. Yeah, I've got to be careful that I don't have, I've got to be careful I don't have this as the low. But anyway, if we short the B wave, we'll be fine at that point. So we'll just wait for that. And Google and Microsoft, they kind of got the same count in that we've been looking for the A wave up here, and then an A, B, C for the B wave here, and then 5 waves up here. So I have adjusted this by putting wave 1 and 2 here, and looking at all of this as 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third, the fourth, and the fifth, and calling a top in here. So basically, if we have a move below here, then we will probably have, we need to start looking at a move down at that point. It still looks very corrective and can push to the upside. But so we had a little 5 waves in here that I noted, and now we've taken that low out here. So that's really destroyed my A wave, B wave, and C wave here, and then up for 1, A, B, C, back for 2, and moving off at this point. So I won't short it just yet, but I'm just letting you know that we'll probably need to look at this as having a top in play. So we'll just give it another session. Let's just see how it follows through. It wasn't like Friday was strong on that, So the same for Microsoft here as well. So what I've done with Microsoft is that I'm looking at all of this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here being finished. So it looks quite nice at the moment as a wave 4 here pushing to the upside. So I'll stay with that, but anything below this level here, and then we'll have to start looking at it as moving in for wave 1 and 2 over here. So we'll just see, but otherwise we'll see this push up in 3, 4, 5 here. We'll just see how that plays out. check. Still got space for that. Okay. Anyway, I'm just concerned that we've got a bit of a turn in the market, but this one looks sort of okay at this point, but let's just see how that plays out. And Berkshire is one of the low volatility stocks, so that looks okay to continue to the upside. So wave 3's got the extension in it, so wave 1 here and wave 5 can have much the same sort of size and so on. So I'm not seeing it come up too much, you know, above the top here somewhere, may push up a bit further to the 18 or 20 or something, but we'll see how that plays out. And of course we can go short below this here too, but we'll keep lifting that up. And block, so I still don't know how the best way to resolve this, but one of the things that I noticed is that you know, from this high here to the low, or this low here, we can count it to this low in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So I was wondering if this is an A wave, an A, B, C for the B wave, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But what I'm seeing here is that we hit the 50-60% retracement level, right? And it does appear that we've got a little 5-wave structure coming down here now. So this is another market that could be you know, to the downside here. We don't need to do anything just yet. It could drop a bit further, but we also need at some point to see this wave 2 rally, which will leave this low exposed, and we can look to short that low. See, the banks have got a little bit more of a push to go to the upside as well, so they're very much like the S&P here. The S&P, we can look at this as 1 and 2 here and continuing to move up. That's the SPY rather. So these ones here, we're calling the low in here last time we spoke, and we've seen a nice little jump. So we should see 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 coming in to finish all of these banks off. And then we'll see the drop at that point. So the A wave, the B wave, the C wave here. We could look at it bullish, I guess, but to go bullish would need the B wave here and the C wave coming down here. But we already want to be sort of short in amongst here. So we'll look at this on the intraday when we need to look for short trade setups. But yeah, any long trades will need to take the top out on the B wave. Here's an ABC pattern. So we're a long way off from all of that just yet, so we don't need to worry about that. And also the same with Morgan's here. I mean, if you wanted to look at counting 5 waves up here, then you could short it right on the top if you wanted to. That would be okay, because there'll be some sort of correction anyway at that point. So we have, you know, the Bank of America here coming back into its 50-60% here with this. So that looks all pretty good to me at that point, you know, and as being sort of bearish at that point. And the same with Morgan's here as well. They've come down and they've come back to their retracement level now. So, you know, if there was going to be another bearish side to this, this is where it's going to happen from. And we need to be organized to be able to look for the short trade at that point. Now, I may be wrong and it may turn into a bullish market, but at the same time, it's still going to have some sort of A, B, and C wave pulling back at least 40%, you know, let alone the 50-60%. So it's not like we're going to miss anything on the bullish side. We know where to look for it, but at the same time, we know this trend up here needs to be corrected. So that's what we'll be looking for. We'll be mindful of both sides, but we still need to push higher above that wave 3 there for that. And the same with Goldman's as well. That also needs to push up here. So we've got about, as I mentioned before, this should take like 3 or 4 days. So we've already got like 1 day. So we'll have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, something in around the Thursday maybe. Alrighty, that's that. Yeah, that's all of that. So yeah, look, just to recap a little bit. we're still on track with wave 4 to be pushing to the upside for the S&P, and that's the same for Apple and a lot of other stocks. But I am seeing some stocks that are producing 5 waves to the downside, that they need to be confirmed a little bit further. So we are seeing some of those big stocks sort of roll over at the moment, and they'll get to a point where it'll be like a domino effect, and they'll bring the other markets down as well. So that's what I'm thinking. So I'll leave it at that, and thanks for tuning in. Cheers.